Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we will be going over my top 20 NFL free agents, where I think some of their top landing spots will be, and where I think they will end up signing. So, for the NFL, free agency technically starts on Monday. However, nothing can be made official until the new league's season starts Wednesday at 4 p.m. So, players can start negotiating with teams Monday, but we won't hear anything until at least Wednesday at 4 Eastern Time. Starting off, my number 20 free agent is Donnae Brown. He's getting a lot older, however, he can still help a team such as the Dolphins or the Rams. The Rams, because left tackle Andrew Whitworth is seriously considering retirement, and I think he should retire right now. Not saying he's bad, he's still one of the best left tackles in football. I just think it's a good time to go out on top for Andrew Whitworth. And then I think the Dolphins, because they have just a below average offensive line just in general. I think LA makes sense because of how I just mentioned about Whitworth's retirement. So I think Brown will go to play for the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. Number 19, we have Quandre Diggs. So Diggs had a great season, 5 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, and he also had 5 interceptions last season, so consistently productive. I think he could benefit from playing with the Eagles or the Jets. The Jets, because they'd be looking to replace Marcus May in the secondary, and the Eagles, they desperately need safety. And unlucky for the Eagles, unless they're going to trade up in the draft, Kyle Hamilton will not fall to number, I think their first pick is 15. So I think Diggs would be a good fit in Philadelphia. And it's not like it's the Jets, where it's a team that's literally always rebuilding. It's also a team that's ready to win. So I think Quandre Diggs to the Eagles makes a lot of sense. Number 18, we have Laken Tomlinson. He's been a great run blocker in the past. Landing spots for Tomlinson include the 49ers, Steelers, and Giants. 49ers, because he's been great there in under the Kyle Shanahan offense. And I think they should definitely look to re-sign him. Steelers and Giants, both for the same reason, because they need any kind of help on the offensive line they can get. Their O-line is absolutely brutal. Number 17, we have the only quarterback on the list, Jameis Winston. And just so you guys know, if you want me to do where I think all the free agent quarterbacks, or like big-name free agent quarterbacks will land, let me know in the comments and I'll do a video on that. If ever you guys have a video request, just make sure to do it in the comments and I'll consider doing it. So Jameis Winston is coming off a torn ACL, and he's a risky quarterback. I think Winston was doing good before the injury. However, I do think a lot of that credit should be given to Sean Payton. Winston is definitely the best free agent quarterback this free agency cycle. So I think it would make sense for him to re-sign with the Saints. But if he doesn't re-sign with the Saints, I think he's a good fit in Indianapolis. Number 16, we have Odell Beckham Jr. He's coming off a torn ACL in the Super Bowl. We don't know if he's going to play because injuries so late in the season, and he missed a lot of time with that before he returned this season. If he does return, it seems pretty set that he's going to re-sign with the Rams. Number 15, we have Devondre Campbell. So Campbell played at an all-pro level, and he's only 28. He made the move to inside linebacker with the Packers, and the Packers should look to re-sign one of their best players on defense from this past season. And I think he could help the Packers. The Packers are ready to win now. I think they definitely need to win a Super Bowl within the next few years. With Aaron Rodgers back, Devontae Adams, they need to re-sign Campbell to make sure they have the best chance they can get at winning a Super Bowl in the next few years. Number 14, we have Bobby Wagner. He's getting older, has slowed down a little bit, but is still the best pure tackler in the NFL. He was recently released by the Seahawks to clear up cap space. The Cowboys, maybe the Rams, makes sense, and I bet you're not expecting this one. I think he could go to the Broncos. The Broncos are definitely looking to upgrade middle linebacker. I had them taking linebacker Nakobe Dean at number 9. I believe that's what I had if I didn't have them taking a quarterback. Maybe I had them taking Matt Corral. But that's besides the point. Now that they traded for Russell Wilson, now their main need is inside linebacker. And they could bring Wagner and Wilson back together. I think that would be a great move for Denver. Not I don't really think many people are expecting it. I think Bobby Wagner goes to Denver. 13, we have Ryan Jensen. A lot of teams could use help at center, and especially a really good center like Ryan Jensen. So I could see Jensen going three places: the Giants, the Bears, or the Bengals. The Bengals are literally we saw this postseason an offensive line away from winning the Super Bowl. The Giants, they could get any help at offensive line they need, and the Bears are definitely looking to upgrade center and help protect Justin Fields. I think Jensen goes from one Super Bowl contender, the Buccaneers, although not anymore without Tom Brady, to another, the Cincinnati Bengals, and plays in Cincinnati the next season. Number 12, we have Jadeveon Clowney. So Clowney had a great season for the Browns, playing alongside, actually on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, and I think Cleveland should look to bring him back, and he should look to go back to Cleveland. I think it's a good fit for both sides. Number 11, we have Randy Gregory. So he had a all-pro season until he got hurt. He could still be really good, but injuries have slowed him down. If Clowney does not go back to Cleveland, I think Cleveland is a great fit here for Gregory. But if Clowney does return to Cleveland as I have him, I think Seattle or maybe Buffalo makes sense for the Bills. Jerry Hughes is a free agent. I think he would end up going to Seattle. Number 10, we have Brandon Sheriff. So he's been a great inside offensive lineman for, I don't know why I said it that way, interior offensive lineman for the Commanders. The Commanders should look to re-sign him. However, if they don't, I think he could go to the Bengals or the Dolphins. The Bengals should be looking for every offensive line help they could, or for all the offensive line help they can get. But I think Sheriff would end up going to the Dolphins if he does not re-sign with the Commanders. And I don't think he will re-sign with the Commanders. Number 9, we have Stephon Gilmore. So he could still be a very good corner. He played well in the second half of the season. I think he will go to the AFC North, either the Bengals or the Steelers. Steelers, because they don't have a true corner, and I don't think he would go to the Bengals because I have the Bengals getting J.C. Jackson, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. So I have Stephon Gilmore going to the Steelers, who already have a great defense. They're just missing that number 1 corner. Number 8, we have Allen Robinson. He's, I think, the only receiver on my list. Yeah, he is. He's still a good receiver. He didn't have a good situation last season, so he wasn't very productive. He could go a number of places. He could go to Cleveland. Yes, they just traded for Amari Cooper. However, no, Jarvis Landry has been granted permission to seek a trade. He could go to Washington. He could go to Jacksonville. He could go to Las Vegas. So I feel like Jacksonville, he could give Trevor Lawrence a clear number 1 target. And I think that would be a really good move for him. But I think the Commanders would also be a really good move to give whoever the quarterback is there another good weapon. And so then you have Terry McLaurin and then Robinson, and then you could maybe move Curtis Samuel to the slot. I think that'd be a good move, and I think he could end up one of those two places. I think the Commanders are more likely, but I want to see him go to Jacksonville. But if he doesn't want to be in a rebuild, I think Washington is a good place to go. Not necessarily they're not in a rebuild, but I think they're in a better situation than Jacksonville. Number 7, we have Marcus Williams. So the Saints would definitely want to re-sign Williams. However, they just don't have the cap space. He's a steady, consistent young safety, and I think he could go to the Eagles or the Jets, or the Cowboys, actually. I think he's going to end up in Dallas. Number 6, we have Carlton Davis. So he's a good young corner. He's been really good when healthy. However, he's had a little bit trouble staying healthy with Tampa Bay. I think he could go to the Patriots and replace cornerback J.C. Jackson with another good corner like Davis. Number 5, we have safety Tyrann Mathieu. The Chiefs would definitely like to bring back Mathieu. He's a great hybrid in the run and the pass. I think he actually will end up going back to the Chiefs because he's he's probably one of their best players on defense. Number 4, we have Chanwar Jones. So Jones isn't likely to go back to Arizona. He's still getting older, but he could move any defensive line he could go to, and I think he'd be a great fit in Philadelphia for the Eagles, who what they lack on defense is really a true solid edge rusher. Up next, we have another edge rusher, Von Miller. So I think Miller goes to a team he's either played for before, either the Broncos or the Rams. I think he's going to go back to Denver. He's teased a return already, and I think he will go back to Denver. So now they would have a great defense there in Denver, and now I think they could be a serious playoff contender. You could argue even Super Bowl contender. If Von Miller goes back, Bobby Wagner goes there, I think we could definitely see them making a deep, deep playoff run next season. Number 2 on my list is J.C. Jackson. So I said before he's going to go to the Bengals. So when I talked about Stephon Gilmore, I think Jackson is better at this point, and I think the Bengals will solidify their Super Bowl roster, adding another notable free agent signing. So Eli Apple isn't really a good corner as we saw in the Super Bowl. And Trey Waynes, the injury to hit Trey Waynes forced Eli Apple to play a lot. Chidobe Awuzie is not bad, but I think J.C. Jackson would be a big boost to that secondary, who's already really good. They have safeties. They have Awuzie, as I mentioned. They have Jesse Bates, who's a franchise tag. They have Von Bell. If Jackson goes there, their secondary will be one of the best in football. And number 1, my top free agent, we have Tehran Armstead. He's battled injuries, but is a really, really good tackle when healthy. Either the Panthers or the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals go after another offensive lineman here. I think he ends up in Carolina. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. Comment if you agree, disagree, and why. And I will see you tomorrow on Sunday, when we will be going over my first thoughts on the NCAA tournament bracket, shortly after it's released tomorrow night. So like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you for tomorrow's video.